Hi, I'm Stephen Levy from Handy Dryers. Today I want to introduce you to the latest in our eco range of hand dryers. This is called the AirBox V2. This latest AirBox is the first in a new range of eco hand dryers that allows the user to control the power of the motor. Now that does two things. One is it gives you control over the energy consumption. So if you want to have a really low energy unit, you can turn it right down. That also reduces the noise. So if you're in an environment where you either, let's perhaps say a school near to classrooms or a theatre, where you want a really low noise unit, this is perfect. But also by taking the cover off, you can turn the power of it up and down at will. So if you've got customers coming in perhaps, and you want to have the hand dryers working on a really low noise level, you can do that too. So let's take a look inside the unit and I can show you exactly what those features are that we were talking about. So I have a white one here, the box is already taken off. And if I hold this up, you can see it's a vertically mounted unit. So the air comes in at the top here, whereas with most hand dryers, the air is sucked in from the bottom. There's a filter here on the top. This stops dirt and rubbish getting into the unit, keeps it lasting much longer, and this can easily be washed. And obviously it has to be very, very well dried out and then popped back into place here to stop any dirt going through. You have a switch on the top here marked hot and cold. That turns off the heating element. Now the heating element in the hand dryer is responsible for up to 2/3 of its power consumption. So if you want to be green, if you want to be eco, especially in the summer, and you've got a warm washroom, then simply just turn the switch off. And so now the unit itself will be pushing out cold air. It'll dry your hands really nicely, and you're saving something like 2/3 of the energy of the unit. Looking at the bottom of the unit here, there's this switch I was talking about. Now this is a dial, a rotary switch. If I put my hands to the side so you can see it, and I can twist that up and down, and that'll take me from high power right the way down to low power. So now if I turn the unit on low power and I turn the heating element off, we're using such an incredibly low amount of energy that this is truly one of the most economical hand dryers in the world to buy. The unit itself uses at maximum 1350 watts. That's 1.35 kilowatts. Now, of that power, about 850 watts of that will be the heating element. So by turning that off and putting it onto cold, immediately I'm down to about 500 watts. If I then turn the power down to its minimum setting, we're going down to about 300 watts. And that's just a tiny, tiny amount of electricity. If you look at the statistics on the website, it'll show you how many hand dryers you can get per minute. And the cost of this is fractions of a penny. Really, really cost effective. So the AirBox V2 comes in 3 different colors. You've got the black unit here behind me, the white one here. I'll just put this box back over there just to put that to the side for a second, and then one down here, which is the brushed stainless steel. So the next thing I want to do is a sound test. So what we'll look at is the difference between both hand dryers. The one on the wall is on maximum at the moment, and the one on the table here, actually the one I'm holding, is turned down to minimum. So what we want to do is to look at how many decibels they actually give out in use. So I've set both units up now so we can do a sound test. We do them at 1 meter distance from the unit itself. I'm in a studio, it's quite echoey, so it's going to give a higher sound reading than it would in a room that had any sort of soft furnishings in it. Sound meter here. Now I've measured this. This is 1 meter from here to where the sound meter is. So you can see it moving as I'm talking. So I'm going to be quiet now. Let's see, put it on hold, so it'll now hold the maximum. And let's see where we get to. That's 76 decibels, 76.3 decibels was the maximum reading on the unit turned up to its maximum. So now let's try the silver hand dryer. Remember, this one's turned down to its minimum setting, so we should get a pretty low reading. I'll reset the meter. (67.6). That is one of the lowest hand dryers, lowest recorded decibel readings of a hand dryer in the world. So now the crucial bit, does it dry my hands? So we've got our normal setup here, bowl of water, a paper towel which will show every tiny little drip if there's any moisture on my hands, and the hand dryer. So I'm going to get my hands wet in the hand dryer, in the water even, right there, no, completely wet, and let's get them dry. Okay, onto the paper. If you look at the paper, there's not a spot on it, they are completely dry. And just to prove the point, if I put a drip on the paper, you'll see it marks very, very easily. So that was in 11 seconds it took to dry my hands completely. So now, in the interests of complete transparency, and it's something I've never tried before, I'm going to dry my hands with the same hand dryer, but now this one is turned down to its lowest possible power setting. So let's see what happens. So hands in the water again, get them nice and wet, water all over and under the hand dryer. So we're up to 25 seconds. Obviously it's going to take longer than it would with a standard hand dryer, with all the same one on full power. And hands onto the paper, as you can see, there's no marks on there. So my hands are now completely dry. 25 seconds on lowest possible power setting, 11 seconds on maximum power setting. And of course you can set it anywhere in between those that you want, whichever suits you. In conclusion, the AirBox V2 is a state-of-the-art machine. It gives you complete control, so there's flexibility in there. It's robust, it's very, very well built, it's solid, as you can see, which makes it vandal-proof as well. It comes in 3 different colorways, superb unit and really, really low cost.